Okay, good morning, everybody. This is the Development Review Committee meeting of Tuesday, July 6, 2021. We're going to get this meeting started with calling the meeting to order and doing a quick roll call. My name is Eric Scher. I'm the Community Development Director.
Cody Howing, City Engineer.
Richard Martinez, Public Works Department.
Gabriel Rivera, Assistant Planner.
Parker Stringfellow, Assistant Planner.
So thank you, everybody. Next on the agenda is time for public comment. This is time set aside during this morning's meeting for any public comment on items that are not on the agenda. So at this point, we have not received any comments for items not on the agenda this morning. And so with that, we're going to move forward with the next item, which is the approval of minutes from the June 1st, 2021 Development Review Committee meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries 3-0 to approve. All right, the first item this morning is for Laverne Brewing expansion, case number 5321 CUP. With that, Gabriel has his report. Gabe.
Sure, thank you, Eric. So today we'll be reviewing case number 5321 CUP, which is an amendment for the existing conditional use permit to allow for the expansion of Laverne Brewing and associated alcohol services into the adjacent suites at 2125 Wright Avenue, suites C12 and C13. On May 10th, 2021, the applicant Thomas Redney, owner of Laverne Brewing Company, has submitted an application to amend the Laverne Brewing Company's existing conditional use permit for the operation of a small-scale microbrewery to include the adjacent location along with a front and rear patio at 2125 Wright Avenue, seats C12 and C13 in the Laverne Business Park Center. The brewery is located within the business park sector of the Aero Corridor Specific Plan, and on-site and off-site alcoholic beverages are regulated by the Aero Corridor Specific Plan, as well as Chapter 18.2080 of the Laverne Municipal Code, both of which require conditional use permit. The commercial space at 2125 Wright Avenue, Suites C12 and C13 is currently occupied by the bike shop named Crazy Bear Bikes. In 2012, the applicants filed for a conditional use permit, case number 4012 CP, to operate a microbrewery with retail sales at 2125 Avenue, Suites C14 and 15. Planning Commission approved the proposal on June 6, 2012. Under resolution number 1075, following year, the applicants submitted an amendment to their conditional use permit, which was approved to allow the applicants to extend their operating hours from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., which was approved by the Planning Commission under resolution number 1122 on October 9, 2013. Prior to the amendment, the applicants were able to operate from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. The Aero Corridor Specific Plan does allow for wineries, breweries, or distilleries with a conditional use permit in the business park sector. The applicants are proposing to expand their conditional use permit into the operation of their small scale microbrewery to include neighboring suites C12 and C13, along with the front and rear patio. They are also proposing to extend their business hours from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., which would allow the applicants more flexibility with conducting events. However, they did state that they would not be using the 2 a.m. timeframe as regular business hours, but only when needed. For example, like I said, for events. The applicants are also seeking for the allowance of customers to be able to consume alcohol within the proposed front and rear patios. So moving on to the site plan, the applicants are requested to expand their current brewery to include the neighboring tenant space C12 and C13, which measures 3,456 square feet. The applicants have leased the tenant space and have opted to share a portion of the tenant space with Crazy Bear Bikes, as shown on attachment C. Crazy Bear Bikes will occupy 816 square feet of the frontal portion of the warehouse within C12 and C13, while also utilizing both office spaces at the front of the tenant space. The bike shop has received a certificate of use and occupancy in February of 2021 for the utilization of C12 and C13. But the new layout that is being proposed by the applicants is not what was originally approved under certificate of use and occupancy. And due to this, staff has placed a condition that applicant obtain a new certificate of use and occupancy in order to update the layout of the tenant space. The applicants will also be utilizing the back portion of C12 and C13 which will comprise of a 2,364 square foot game and serving area for the microbrewery. The bike shop will be screened off from the serving and games area, but the restrooms will remain accessible by both the bike shop and microbrewery. The bike shop portion of the space will have an occupancy load of 23 persons, while the portion utilized by the applicant will have an occupancy load of 158 persons. In addition to expanding into both suites C12 and C13, the applicants are proposing a 2,640 square foot back patio, which will connect tenant spaces C15 and C14 to C12 and C13, as shown on attachment B. The rear patio will measure 30 feet in length and 88 feet in width. The fire department does require that there is a minimum 26-foot drive aisle clearance between the proposed patio and the parking spaces on the opposite side. With the proposed rear patio, the drive aisle would be 22 feet, which does not satisfy the requirements set by the fire department. Staff has placed a condition that would require the applicant to downsize the rear patio, so it meets the so it satisfies the requirements set aside by the fire department. The applicants are also proposing a semi-permanent front patio that will be a total of 1,296 square feet. The front patio will measure 18 feet by 72 feet in length and width. And the proposed patio will occupy a total of 11 spaces at the front of the tenant spaces. A portion of the front patio that will occupy the spaces in front of C14 and C15 was originally approved under the city's temporary outdoor dining permit program for the COVID-19 pandemic. The applicants are proposing to continue to use this semi-permanent patio from March 1st through September 1st. The originally approved front patio portion will be extended so it does connect suite C15 through C12 as shown on attachment C. The occupancy load for the proposed rear patio will be 176%, while the front patio has an occupancy of 86. The Laverne Business Park currently has 135 total confirmed spaces provided, with an excess of 56.1 spaces. With the new expansion of the brewery and combined with the bike shop use and the outdoor patio areas, the total spaces required for the center would be 138.42 spaces. Staff has reviewed the parking requirements for the Laverne Business Park Center. While the air corridor specific plan is not clear when there are non-industrial uses combined together, and it's not clear on what type of parking requirements would be used. So staff has applied a restaurant parking ratio of 1 per 100 square feet for Jeans Grinders, which is also located within the business park, as well as the brewery space at suite C14 and C15. Suite C12 and C13 will retain a parking ratio of 1 per 500, since the space is utilized by both bike shop and as extra assembly space for the brewery when needed. In the analysis, there is a parking deficit of 3.4 spaces. However, the operating hours of the brewery are opposite to the operating hours of most of the surrounding uses in the center. For example, Jeans Grinders operates from 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., while Laverne Brewing Company opens to the public from 3 p.m. onwards to the proposed 2 a.m. time frame. Therefore, there wouldn't be a significant impact on parking, and the brewery would have sufficient parking access. That being said, staff recommends that the Development Review Committee recommend Planning Commission adoption of Resolution 1276, which approves case number 5321 CUP based on the findings and is subject to conditions of approval. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Gabriel. We're bringing the applicants in for this item, but before they're fully on here, do committee members have questions of staff or the applicants? Both Thomas and Ken, you'll need to unmute yourself if you wish to speak, but we'll see if committee members have any questions to begin with. Committee members, questions?
Yeah, I was going through the exhibits for the layout. My questions are probably similar, but I think we have a few here. So it's proposed that 55-gallon barrels are used as, I guess, vehicle protection in the front parking lot. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what we're planning on doing.
Is there a proposed spacing on those or particular material? Because my concern is, one with water barrels, which is what I assume is fill those with, is that they tend to not get filled. So that can be a challenge with them actually being effective, and also spacing. So one thing that I'd be interested in is getting a more detailed view of what material you're proposing and the spacing on that. And then similarly, in the rear, there is no protection proposed there. So maybe not exactly the same, but obviously something else probably is due there. So I'd be more interested in those details.
I know Jessica's not on the line, but I would expect that Jessica would want to do an inspection per setup every year. Once the patio front goes. And so I think a lot of that probably would be, it's gonna be inspected basically on an annual basis. So I think that'll confirm that the water barrels are filled and spaced appropriately in the front. I think the question in the rear was, it definitely doesn't have the vehicle traffic that the front has, and that was the reason why today the existing patio at the back never required vehicle impact protection. It simply had rope and bollards or sanctions to delineate the space. Did Jessica's not on the line this morning, did she?
She did mention that she would like to see vehicle impact protection for that back patio, specifically K-rails on the sides that are closest to the streets.
So,
and then-
okay.
Yeah.
Thomas or Ken, do you want to comment on that?
My comment on the back patio is that is not permanent, whereas the front patio would be semi-permanent. You know, we set up the back patio every night, and not even every night, it's kind of demand driven. So having a more permanent solution, we just have to figure out something that's mobile, I think, because it gets put together and taken down every day. So I guess to address your concern, like we do have that temporary one with stanchions and rope for the back area, but you know, if we need to have some kind of a solution with Jessica that she's happy about in terms of protection, you know, we're willing to work with her on that. Ken, do you want to add anything?
No, that pretty much was exactly what I was going to say.
So Cody, would you be comfortable with the condition that allows fire marshal and us to basically work with the applicant to identify a solution for the back patio for making sure it's mobile and also provides a level of protection that makes them comfortable?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that condition.
Okay. Any other questions, Cody?
No, that's it for the questions that I have for
Richard? So couple questions from me. First of all, you saw the condition about modifying the patio, the rear patio size to ensure there's that 26 fire lane. I would prefer that we just simply do that now and have a revised plan to send to the planning commission. That way it's not a question to where the patio is redrawn to meet that 26-foot drive aisle. Instead of showing them a plan that we know doesn't work, right?
Okay. And can I work with, like, is that proposal already there, or should I work with Gabe to?
Yeah, Gabe, you still have time. It won't go out to the planning commission until tomorrow or Thursday, so there's still time to revise that plan today or tomorrow to get it to be accurate.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all for that. And if it needs to happen today, we can jump on it.
And then for Gabe, did PD weigh in on the 2 a.m. Operating hours?
No,
They didn't. Did they say they didn't have any issues, or did they not respond?
they didn't.
So I would want to try to get a response from them specifically on the 2 a.m. I mean, I know you're not going to impact anybody. There's no real residents that are close to this that the late night hours would really impact. It really just comes down to public safety and whether PD has any concerns about your business operating that time. As far as I know, they don't have calls for service or any other issues that they've had with your business or operation since you've been nearly 10 years in operation. So I expect that they would probably be okay, but I would want that from them directly to make sure, because, you know, it is unique. We don't have a lot of 2 AM businesses in Laverne. And so we just want to make sure we have that addressed for the planning commission as well next week.
Okay, and to be clear, I know it was mentioned, but we have no intent of using that regularly / probably ever. It's more of just a flexibility in case. I mean, I'd say now we can operate until 11 and we still close at 10 o'clock most nights. So just the precedent and the history for that is more flexibility on our end.
Since your ABC permits allows you to serve till 2 AM, so you want to align with that permit.
Exactly. Make it to where it's all aligned.
Got it. And then last question is, are they updated on the live entertainment permit?
I don't believe so.
So we definitely want to make sure you get updated or get your live entertainment permit submitted for 2021 for your current operation, just to make sure that you're legitimate on that front.
Okay. Yeah, I'll work with you. I thought I at least had seen something on that, so I apologize if I missed it, but we'll get that.
Double check for you.
Yeah, you and Gabe can figure that out. But again, one other thing I'd like to try to make sure it's addressed before Wednesday night's planning commission meeting, just so we know that that's completed.
You bet. We'll do it.
All right, with that, I don't have any other comments or questions. Thomas, did you have anything else on the conditions of approval, or Ken, anything else to add?
I don't, Ken, unless you do.
No, everything looks fine.
Yeah, thanks. I think maybe just thank you for the help getting us through this, and
Exactly.
yeah, we appreciate the partnership. We're working through this.
Okay, well, if that is there a recommendation to recommend planning commission approval with some modifications to the conditions regarding the setup for the patio areas, basically?
Yeah.
To
To work with staff on setup and then annual
and then
inspections.
inspections upon setup, especially in the front portion.
Yes.
Okay,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, well, you got our recommendation, so we'll see you next Wednesday night, planning commission meeting on Zoom.
Wonderful. Thank you all.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Okay. Next item is case number 60-21 PPR, an application for a 108 square foot addition and tenant improvements to the Shell gas station at 2150 Foothill Boulevard. Gabriel also has his report on this item. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Thank you, Eric. So like Eric said, today we'll be reviewing case number 6021 PPR for the project site at 2150 Foothill Boulevard. The applicant, Jim Detweiler, on behalf of Benavi Real Estate Development LLC, has applied for a precise plan review application to construct a 108 square foot addition along with tenant improvements and new signage at 2510 Foothill Boulevard. The subject property at 2150 Foothill Boulevard is located at the southeast corner of Foothill Boulevard and Town Center Drive and resides within the Foothill Boulevard specific plan zone. In 1988, an application was received by the city for a proposal for the reconstruction and remodel of the existing Texaco gas station with car wash at 2150 Foothill Boulevard, case number 2788 CUP. The Planning Commission approved the proposal on August 2nd, 1990, and adopted resolution number 482. In 2002, a precise plan and review application was submitted for a sign change out proposal to convert the Texaco gas station into a Shell gas station, which was approved on December 3rd, 2002. In 2018, an additional precise plan review application was submitted for additional Shell signs on site. The Development Review Committee approved this proposal on June 5th, 2018, and the property currently remains as a Shell gas station with 4 multi-product dispensers, a 799 square foot car wash building, and a 1,388 square foot convenience store on a 24,564 or 0.564 acre parcel. The applicant is proposing to construct a 108 square foot addition to the northwest corner of the 1,388 square foot subject building. This would allow the convenience store to host a larger selection of products and storage space as seen on attachment B. The applicant's is also proposing to remove the existing restrooms and replace them with a single occupancy gender neutral restroom at the northwest section of the building. The removal of the existing bathrooms would open up the sales floor space, allowing the applicant to place more products that they could before. The project site also has a unique setback situation where the property line for the parcels extend out into Foothill Boulevard, as shown on attachment B. The front setback for the property extends out from the face of the curb by 7 feet and 10 inches, as verified by the city's director of engineering. The standards of the Foothill Boulevard specific plan requires that properties have a minimum front setback of 30 feet and a minimum side setback of 50 feet. The property was originally built with a front setback of 41 feet and 10 inches and a side setback of 21 and 2 inches on the town center drive site. The proposed 108 square foot addition will encroach into this side setback by additional 15 feet and 9 inches. If approved, the property would then have a front setback of 35 feet and 2 inches and a side setback of 34 feet and 3 inches. The new side setback for the proposed building addition would not be encroaching more than what was originally approved with the existing building. The proposed addition is designed to also match the architectural character of the existing gas station. As shown on the elevation plans on attachment C, the applicants are also proposing to replace the existing signage with new signage and replacing the existing exterior windows with a 2-inch aluminum frame anodized bronze finished windows. The new signage will consist of changing the existing monument, convenience store, and tower sign. The new signs will be replacing the Shell logo signs and replacing them with a new Rebel trademark sign. The Rebel brand was originally started through partnership with the Navi Oil and Paragon Solutions, who developed the brand in order to refresh over 400 plus convenience stores in California. The existing Food Mart sign will also be removed from the northwest elevation and will not be replaced. And the existing Shell sign on the tower will be replaced by LED channel letter Rebel sign. And a LED channel letter Rebel sign will also be placed at the entrance of the convenience store, as shown on attachment C. All of these proposed signs meet the sign requirement standards as set by the Foothill Boulevard specific plan and the Laverne Municipal Code. Due to the unpermitted removal of 2 trees at the southeast corner of the site, staff has placed a condition that would require the applicants to submit a landscape plan for the replacement of the removed trees. Staff to confirm with the applicants that the reason for the removal was due to the pine trees. The needles from the pine trees were clogging the car wash drain next to the car wash. So staff is recommending that the Development Review Committee conditionally approve case number 6021 based on the findings of the draft approval letter and the proposed conditions of approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabriel. I'm going to bring in the applicant this time. Hi, Jim, are you there? If you are, please unmute yourself.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. First, we'll start with committee members. Do we have any questions of the applicant or staff?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, my only question for Gabriel is, I know we have a condition for the replacement of the tree of the landscaping, basically in that back corner. It looks like all of it's been removed. There's no ground cover, plant material, trees, anything. So we'll look for all those planters basically to be replanted.
Correct.
The other thing is, I know there was the outstanding issue of that kind of arched sign, if you will, over the entry to the car wash. That's still in place.
Yeah, so we did talk, I think Jim and I talked about getting that removed prior to the planning commission meeting. So Jim, I'm not too sure if.
Yeah, I believe it was supposed to be removed last week. If it's not, we will certainly get it removed. They have agreed to remove that pending approval of a new plan. They do want to add that back into the sign package, and that's in the works now. But yeah,
So
it is.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that update. So
Yep.
the signs actually are going to be approved in our separate PPR by the staff, right?
Yeah.
So the DRC's not.
Yeah,
we're not reviewing the signs at this time. It's just the addition itself. Okay, so you'll fix that on the sign package.
Correct. I'll work with Gabriel on that.
Okay, Gabe could go out later today too to confirm if that has
Okay.
been moved in advance as well. I'll let you know.
Perfect.
I don't have any other comments on this either. I think it makes sense, and it's good that we're having a ADA accessible bathroom that are gonna be part of the store, which doesn't exist today, so I think it's all good. So I'm supportive of the request. Jim, did you have anything else to add on the conditions of approval for the project?
The only question or request I had is on that replacement of the trees. They have requested that we can, they're certainly willing to replace the trees. They just would, as Gabriel said, they've been having problems with the pine needles clogging up the drains, and if we can replace those with a different type of tree.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay, all right, that was the only request I had.
Yeah, not a problem. Okay, with that, do I have a recommendation for, actually, this is approval by DRC for case number 60-21 PPR.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, you are approved. Gabriel will work
All right.
with you on the sign package.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay. All right, so on this next item, I actually do have a conflict of interest on it, so I'm gonna be recusing myself and stepping out of the room. I'll turn it over to Cody to handle. I know there is a couple applicants. Gabe could help you with who those are once the time comes. So Gabe, just come let me know when you're done. Thank you.
All right, this item is case number 66-21 TPM. Tentative parcel map proposal to split the existing parcel into two at 1350 3rd Street. So with that, Gabe, go ahead and
Thank you, Cody.
give your report.
So, like Cody said, we'll be reviewing case number 6621 TPM. This is an application for a tentative parcel map at 1350 3rd Street. The proposed tentative parcel map will split an existing conforming 13.42 acre parcel into two separate parcels, which will be consistent with the standards of the institutional zone found in the Laverne Municipal Code. The existing structures will remain on site, and there are no proposed developments at this time. The Laverne subdivision ordinance authorizes the development review committee to make determinations on tentative parcel map applications. Staff recommends that the DRC review the application and approve the tentative parcel map based on the findings and conditions contained in the staff report. The applicant, Cedar Springs LP, represented by Community of Friends, are the owners of parcel 2, located at 1345 Palomar Street, while David and Margaret are Home Incorporated are the owners of parcel 1, located at 1350 3rd Street, and this can be found on the tentative parcel map attachment under attachment C. On March 8th, 2011, David and Margaret Youth and Family Services submitted an application for a conditional use permit, case number 1511 CUP, to amend their original master plan case number 1173 and master plan amendment case number 12387 CUP. The amended master plan, which allows the development of 36 unit multi-family mixed use development, and this development became the Cedar Springs apartment complex that is there today. The Planning Commission approved this conditional use permit on September 12th, 2012. The property at 1350 3rd Street has a zoning designation of institutional and has a general plan designation as a community facility. There are existing structures on site, but the proposed parcel split will not require any buildings to be demolished. On June 16th, the applicant Cedar Springs LP, with authorization from David and Margaret Home Incorporated, submitted an application for the tentative parcel map that would subdivide parcel 1 into two parcels. The applicants are proposing these parcel changes in order to separate the Youth Workforce Training Center from the David and Margaret for a transition age youth center. This parcel change is due to a lease agreement for the property between David and Margaret Home Incorporated, which allows Cedar Springs LP to lease the space for a lease term of 85 years. The property at 1350 3rd Street is located within David and Margaret Youth and Family Centers. The institutional, which is located within the institutional zone. The institutional zone does require that structures have a minimum front and rear setback of 25 feet, or the existing height of the building, whichever is greater, and a minimum setback of 20 feet for lots adjacent to residential lots or adjacent to a street. The standards also state that there should be a minimum side setback of 15 feet for interior side setbacks not adjacent to the street. Development standards for the institutional zone also states that lot coverage should not exceed 45%. As shown on attachment C, the tentative parcel map meets the setback and lot coverage requirements as required by institutional zone. The site, after approval, will feature 3 total parcels with an adjacent parcel located at 1345 Palomar Street, which contains the Cedar Springs apartment complex. Due to the 3 parcels sharing the same parking lot, staff has added a condition that would require the applicants to amend the current ground lease agreement for parking and access prior to the recording of the tenement parcel map. Staff recommends that the Development Review Committee additionally approve case number 6621 TPN based on the staff report and the conditions of approval found in attached draft conditional approval letter. Thank you very much.
Do we have any applicants?
Yes, it is John Wong and Aliana Santos.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is John Long. I'm with United Civil. We are engineer of records for previous Cedar Spring Apartments projects and the record parcel map. And we will be the engineer for this new application for the parcel map to split from 2 parcels to 3 parcels.
Thank you. Do the applicants have any comments and statements that they want to add before we go into questions or comments by the members?
Hi, so this is Elena Santos, representing the applicant. Yeah, we are splitting these parcels. One side will have, as Gabriel said, the apartment complex, and then this new parcel will only have the training center that we're using for the kids there at the David Margaret Homes. And then the existing parcel 1, is the parcel for the youth center, which is a school, doctor's offices, swimming pool for the kids as well.
So it looks like you have a condition for this condition approval.
Yes, there are conditions for the approval of this.
Yes. So we'll move on to members. Do we have any questions, comments? Okay, so I have maybe not so much a question, but a comment. So between parcel 1 and parcel 2 and parcel 3 as well, from what I can tell, is it seems like there's some utilities that are shared between those 3 parcels, as well as definitely the drainage features, the LID features, the BMPs, and just the general drainage of the site itself kind of intermingles between the parcels. So one thing that I want to add to the conditions, sort of along similarities to the parking, is that we add conditions preserve and maintain the existing drainage configuration, and maintenance responsibilities and access of any LID features or other utilities. So I think that's a fairly straightforward condition. Is there any issue with that? Does that make sense? Anybody have questions? Okay. Any other questions?
It shouldn't be a problem for us, since we're not making any changes to the site, just the parcel map.
Sure. Okay, with that, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve as amended with the conditions stated.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll grab her.
And there's always a future to expand, yeah.
Okay. Next is my item. So we'll next move forward with case number 125-20 PPR for 1861 Puddingstone Drive. This is a request by AB Design and Engineering, which is proposing to legitimize 2 structures that have been constructed over the last year or so at the property. One is a new air compressor room, which is attached to the building at the northwest corner of the building within an existing landscape planter area. And another is a storage racking system, basically, that are taking up 9 parking spaces, I believe, on the north side of the project site. So in October 2020, staff noticed that there was a new large structure that was built in the parking lot of this property without permits. There are photos attached to the report that show what it looked like before and what it looks like today. Top is before. So the building inspector inspected the site and it determined that it was, not a permitted structure. Basically, what it comprises of is racking systems that have been kind of, a frame was kind of added to the exterior with lightweight siding attached to screen the some of the area with a corrugated metal roof on top to protect the items. This storage was required per the business owner as a result of COVID. They had contracts to produce materials and products related to COVID response, that they had an immediate need for additional storage that they could not supply within the existing building. So because of that, and at the time it was indicated to staff that this was going to be a temporary storage building, we kind of gave them some leniency just because of COVID related use of the building. But as time has gone on, they've indicated that they didn't have a permanent need for storage. There are certain requirements, the height of the racking system, as well as the overall size, were issues for the fire department and the building department. So they were instructed to lower the system as well as reduce it to approximately 50% of what it was built at, which has been done today. That's the picture on the bottom of that page. They are proposing that as the size of it is now approximately 97 feet by 20 or so. 94 feet by 17 feet. These racking systems remain in place. There is adequate parking here in the center. The site plan shows the actual ratio that even with the reduction of the 9 parking spaces, there will be still approximately 15 spaces in excess that would remain based on the current operations of the interior of the building, based on manufacturing, warehouse, and office space. So while the racking system is not visible from the public right of way per se, as it is directly behind the building, it does appear that it, a little bit pieced together, if you will. So one of my conditions of approval that I'm recommending is that the applicant be required to paint the enclosure or the racking system and the roof material to be a consistent neutral color, gray or brown or something, to make sure it just looks clean and fresh at a minimum, versus having it fully enclosed is kind of what was done before. I think that's probably a better system than having it fully enclosed, but that way they do have some work to be done on it to make it look a little bit nicer than it does today. There's also some of the dismantled racking systems and materials that were as part of the other 50% that has been removed that are currently stored in parking spaces along that northern drive aisle. So condition approval also requires that within 60 days that that all gets removed from those parking spaces. So with that, staff's recommending the DRC approve case number 125-20 PPR, and I will bring the applicant in at this time. Hi, Richard. Welcome to the Development Review Committee meeting. Please unmute yourself. Richard, if you could hear, there we go. Hi, Richard.
Right.
How are you?
Yeah, how are you? Thank you, sir.
Good,
All right.
okay. So we're gonna ask committee members if they have any questions first of all, and then we'll let you go ahead and ask any questions. Committee members have questions.
Actually, yeah, I have a chance. Okay, first I would like to thank you, Mr. Aris Cyril, and also the city staff. Then, yeah, I have a chance to review all condition. I think most of them is reasonable conditional approval. Then I'm very appreciative about that one. Okay, then I know you have been working hard for this case so far. All right. Then I think so far, okay, I'm okay with all conditional. then we will comply everything requirement from the from conditional approval. Yeah, I have no further question.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Committee
Thank
members,
you.
do you have any questions?
I just have one. Is this part of it?
Yeah, that's the drive aisle. That's between the building and the spaces are along the property, north property line. So you look at the site plan.
Okay, so when you drive to the street, you really don't.
No, you don't.
see it. It's on the path.
Yeah, you can see.
Okay, so,
So that was taken
okay,
right here, looking this way.
okay. All right, that's like.
Cody, nothing?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, Richard, I obviously don't have any questions either. So is there a recommendation to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Richard, it's approved with those conditions. So I'll follow up with you later to make sure we can get all those conditions addressed, okay?
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Okay. This last one's mine as well. This is case number 57-21 PPR, an application for Memorial Garden and a Peace Pole at Mills Park, 5601 Wheeler Avenue. This is a request by the Laverne Rotary Organization to install a memorial peace pole and a sidewalk and some benches at Mills Park at 5601 Wheeler, basically at the corner of Old Wheeler Road and Wheeler Avenue. This memorial would be in the name of Dr. Garvis Yargarian, who passed away in this last year, who was very influential to the city, the university, as well as the Rotary, long-term member there. The city council actually adjourned a recent meeting in his honor, and that text was made part of this application as well. So the Memorial Garden would be a 5-foot sidewalk leading from the existing sidewalk on Old Ranch Road to an existing clearing within the trees at that southern portion of the park. It's probably approximately 60 feet from the street. There'd be at the ending of that sidewalk, there'd be an 18-inch raised granite pedestal, which would include a 6-foot tall peace pole. There'd be engravings in the peace pole. Those have not been identified or realized at this point. The Rotary is still working on the details of that. And so a conditional approval requires that any engravings be reviewed by city staff for approval to make sure that, that there's nothing offensive or anything else that we wouldn't want to see in a city park. But one of the things that's interesting about this is that the city, normally memorials are city initiated, city council initiated, and where the city does not have an official policy for third-party organizations for placing memorials in city-owned property. Since this is one of the first that we've received in my career here, I don't know that a policy is necessary at this time, but we have indicated to city council that we would bring it before them as it is a project in the city park for their ultimate approval as well. So the DRC is tasked with approving the precise plan review, which will be tentative upon ultimate city council authorization for it to move forward within the city park. So with that, staff is happy to answer any questions, but the applicant's here, but we are recommending approval of case number 5721 PPR. So we bring the applicants in real fast. Hi, Phil and Sharon. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so we'll start with committee members. Do we have any questions of the applicants or staff?
I don't have anything at this point. No.
Okay, Sharon and Phil, did you have a chance to review the conditions of approval? And did you have any questions regarding those?
I reviewed them and I have no questions at this time, Eric.
And I reviewed also and have no questions.
Okay, well, with that, as I mentioned, we'll be taking this to the city council. I plan to take this on July 19th to that meeting. So you'll be invited to that one as well. I'll give a brief presentation just as I did this morning. And then we'll let the city council ask any questions they might have. But I know our Public Works Department has signed off on the concept of the design. So with that, is there a motion to approve case number 57-21 PPR?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, you're approved by the DRC, so one step down, one to go, and we'll see you on the 19th.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Eric.
okay, just make sure. I don't have anything else on here. Okay, we are done with today's meeting, so we are adjourning to the next Development Review Committee meeting, which is to be held on August 3rd, 2021 at 9 a.m. We still expect that meeting to be held on via Zoom at this point. And if that's something